All right.
What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, and y'all are tuned in again to another rendition of K-Rino Radio YouTube edition, man. And I got my brother with me tonight, man, a very special guest. This brother has been in the rap game for a minute now, and he is, of course, a brother that y'all might be familiar with because he's been working with me, and I've been working with him for literally years, man, probably at least a decade. And he's dropped several projects. He's self-owned, self-operated. He has his own record label, Gutter Life Records, and has been consistent in his work in this hip-hop industry, man. Want to shout out to my brother as I introduce him, the one and only Mr. Drastiko. What's up, young Drastiko? How you
What's
feeling?
up, man? Good, man. How you doing, Reno?
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. Glad to have you, man. Tell us
Appreciate
what
it.
tell us what you got going on, Drastiko. I understand you just dropped a new project. Tell us a little bit something about the new project and what we can expect.
Yeah, I dropped a new album, man. It's called Reflections of a Man. It was a tribute, man. I originally, started recording it, you know, uh, it was just a project, to reflect on myself, going through the process, the changes in my life. And well, my dad passed away in August, bro, and I ended up, dedicating, this album to him. So I changed the whole concept of the whole album and I worked it around my dad. And, I ended up, finding some recordings of my father, some music on the cell phone, and I ended up getting that mixed and mastered and taking it, into a session and, having my girlfriend lay down vocals behind him. And it's just beautiful, man. It's a beautiful project. It's real meaningful to me. All the songs, it's real music, man. It's real stories, that's what that whole album's about. It's 11 songs, and to me it's a powerful album, bro.
Right. Well, that's dope how you incorporated your dad's work into it because your dad was a musician as well, right?
Yeah, he was, bro.
Yeah.
So I had to, and that was his dream, brother. Like, he was out in the 70s and 60s, running with bands in Mexico. So his dream was, to be an actual writer for, big time artists. That was his dream. And on one of the songs is one of his original compositions. The other one is more of a cover song, that he did. But man, it's just it would have been nice, to have my dad here in Houston, and been, working with my father,
Yeah.
but I take what I got.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And the beautiful thing about music is that once that music is recorded, once those words are recorded, once those sounds are recorded, that's everlasting life. So he's living now through that work and through you being able to incorporate him into your current work. So you just
Yeah.
merge those generations together, man. That's a good thing. So let me ask you this because I know you, like I said, you've been doing it a long time. How long have you been actually in the rap game and recording? That's going to take me to my next question.
Mm, I want to say officially when I started, doing stuff like putting an album together was 2011, brother.
Okay.
But before that, in my high school days, I was already dropping mixtapes.
Yeah.
So we already had about 6, 7 mixtapes, under our belt, at that age at 17.
Yeah. So all that count then, so
Yeah,
you probably 15 years in or something like that or more.
yeah.
The reason why I asked you that, I want to ask you, how have you, in your opinion, evolved as an artist from the time you started to now? What differences do you see in yourself? And what are some of the things that you have consciously changed and altered about your style and your music from the time you started?
Well, I mean, I always kept it authentic, brother. Like I always, told stories of stuff that was going on around me, what I was living through, what I was seeing, with my own eyes. But evolving, yeah, I evolved. I can tell big time. And a lot of people have told me, recently, that they heard this new project. They're like, man, I could tell the big difference, the growth in your music and your persona, and And part of that, brother, like, I know I told you before, but I owe that to you, man. Like
Oh,
through your music, brother, like you really helped me. You helped me find myself.
man, man.
And music, there's power in music, brother. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this, but man, that your music changed my life, and
Man.
that's where it all started. And going to the Mosque 45,
Wow.
hearing the teachings,
Wow.
about eating certain foods, and
Mm.
it was just a change. It was a big evolution, and it was with a quickness, brother.
Man, well, I'll say, man, thank God for that. I can't take no credit. I thank God for teaching it to whoever taught it to me and whoever told it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, man. And it just shows that a lot of the work that's getting done out here it's not in vain. A lot of times people that do conscious work, conscious music will feel like, man, I don't know if this really getting through, but I appreciate you saying that, bro. So now you are doing the same thing because somebody's gonna hear what you're talking about now and peel off that same essence and become that, man. So that's a definition of just eternal wisdom and everlasting life through this thing called music. When did you first fall in love with music? When did you? I know your dad did it. When did you say, man, this what I'm gonna do?
I was about 12 years old. My older brother, he was doing a freestyle tape, in the backyard of somebody's house
Yeah.
with a bunch of other guys. They were doing a bunch of freestyles. And when I heard that live, man, I knew that's what I wanted to do. That I just love that vibe of these guys getting in a circle and just passing that mic around and freestyling. And that's when I fell in love with it. And after that, well, I started paying attention to who was who. I heard Street Military, Point Blank, Aggravated, Most Hated, SPM, Lifestyle. I heard everyone, man, and I was very young, and at that age, man, I started writing rhymes and my notebooks.
Wow. So you was more influenced by the local artists,
Yeah.
than more of the mainstream. Or did you have any of the mainstream people that you looked at and say, I'm inspired by them too?
Well, of course, I heard Bone Thugs.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs, 3 6 Mafia,
Yeah.
Biggie, Tupac. But I really was. I wouldn't call myself a big fan of them, but I respect them because I know they're part of the history.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. I mean, I'm always interested when the generations pass and they say, well, man, I was more into the people that were in my own city, and that helped to shape that thought process, man,
Yeah.
that inspiration that they got from them. Because the people you name, man, I mean, just incredible, man. And what do you think is gonna be like what are you planning on being your legacy, and how do you plan on forging your way into this whole legacy of Houston hip hop, where people will start to mention Drastiko's name when they start running off the names? What's your plan to forge your way into that?
I just want to keep putting in that work, bro. I did stop for about 4 years,
Yeah.
and that was a mistake of mine.
Mm.
But that was my time, to soak up life and just gain all this experience with everything I was living through at the moment, and just got wiser, brother. And now I just feel like I'm just gonna attack this, man, and keep dropping project after project and be consistent. You taught me the triple P, man. Practice, pray, and persistent, man.
Man, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. It's always equated to success in some degrees to hitting a pinata. You just hitting it. The candy may not come out on the
Yeah.
first few, but you keep on hitting it. Then you see a little hole. It's okay. Then even though you blindfolded, you still hitting, but sooner or later it's gonna bust open if you
Yeah.
if you stay with it, man.
Yeah.
What project is this for you? How many projects have you released up to date? Just let the people know.
That'll be my 9th one.
See, that's catalog, man. You know,
Yeah,
see, people make the mistake of being dismissive of people putting out that much music. That's a lot of music, and that's a lot of work, especially saying that you stopped for 4 years. To take a 4-year hiatus, but you still sitting on 9 projects. You know, if had you not stopped, you may be on 12 or 13, who knows?
Yeah.
But that time frame where you stopped, you were still uploading information.
Yeah.
So all the things that you went through in that 4 years, we're gonna hear about it anyway, you know, through the current music, man. Now you got your label. Tell us about the label and what made you say, man, I'm gonna start my own label. And is that something you mainly just say, I'm just gonna have this label to push my stuff, or at some point I plan on bringing other artists under me?
Well, the label, you know, we started in 2006. Yeah, that's when we created the label. Me and my, you know, close friend and my brother. And you know, life, you know, happened. It changed for everybody. Everybody, you know, went their own routes, and I stuck with the mission. You know, I was very young, and it's trial and error, man. This is all it been. And you know, I learned on my own. And my plan is, yeah, I would like to, but I would like to, you know, bring on people that are kind of sort of like me, you know, um, speaking life into music, not death.
Right, no question.
So that's gonna be the difficult part of finding somebody like that.
How do you, for the people that's listening, any artists, I sometimes I'll say any young art, but any artist, period, because this is something that's human nature to a degree. What would you tell them in terms of fighting against the frustrations that come along with being in the music business? Like sometimes this thing don't always go like we plan for it to go. You have setbacks, and what would you tell artists who are going through that and they may want to quit? What would you tell them?
Just keep going, man. You don't get the results overnight.
Right.
Especially, you know, when, I mean, I still get frustrated here and there, you know, but I don't let it get to me like that. Like when I was younger, I had a different mindset when I was younger. I was always like, you know, man, I'm doing this because I can't wait to blow up. I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And I'm sure everybody does. Everybody says that, you know? So I was doing it for the wrong reasons. Right now, I don't really care about that, you know? So that might help answer that previous question you asked me. You know, I don't really care about the game much like that. I want to set my mark in it, but I want to do my music what I want to do. You know, I want to drop what I want to drop. Absolutely. You know, I'm not in no competition with nobody else. I'm only competing against myself. That's it.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, it's we're sitting here with Drastiko, man. He's in the building today, and that's an interesting point. You also mentioned a minute ago about if you was to ever start trying to bring artists up under you, you would want to bring artists in that are like-minded in terms of content and speaking life and not death. Elaborate more on that so people will understand exactly what that means and how much weight that statement really has about speaking life and not death and through music.
Speaking life, you know, you got to speak life into your music. You got to give these, you know, the youth, you got to give them, you know, examples of, you know, the life you live in, you know, the results, the outcome of it, you know. So you want to, you know, put a positive message out there. You don't want to put out no negative stuff, man. And that's basically the meaning of that to me. And, you know, we don't want to have more dead people, you know, in our families, in our, you know, anywhere around the world. We don't want no more death, you know. So speaking life into, you know, to me is very important, you know. And all my music's positive now, you know. And if I do mention drugs, it has a story to it. You know, violence, I don't do no violence. I'll tell you one thing. I didn't use not even one profanity word on my album, bro.
Wow, wow, man. And look, if people don't understand, that's not easy to do. That's not an easy thing to do, you know, because sometimes you want to put that emphasis on something that you say.
Yeah.
But when we increase our ability to communicate
Yeah.
more effectively in our vocabulary, then we learn how to relay those same messages with that same passion, but we do it in a way that we don't have to use those vulgarities because, you know, if we trying to reach the youth, we got to make it to where it's all right for the youth to actually be able to listen to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not have all those curse words in it, man. So I'm sure you saw the situation with the Astroworld thing that just took
Yeah.
place, you know, with at the Travis Scott show. I don't know all the details of it. I don't know all the exact actual facts of how the thing triggered and how it got started. What was your take on that whole thing? And you know, how did you view that, based on what you might know about
I don't really know too much about it, but I can tell you this: that stuff did look demonic, brother.
it?
To me, all those mainstream artists, bro, they're always putting out some hidden stuff, man. Some satanic hidden agenda they run, man.
Yeah.
And that's the way I viewed that setup at that stage. But I'm not sure really what happened, but I do understand the frequencies do a lot to people.
That's right. That's right, bro.
So they might have been,
Yeah.
doing something with frequencies at that show, and maybe that's what caused that, those people, that to fall and pass out like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of different takes on it, man. I just started seeing the parts about the symbolism today, and I saw some of the sets that they have on there, man.
Yeah.
And I tried to dwell on the best part of an individual, of an artist, to try to see, well, man, is this really something that they might be subscribing to or not? Or is it somebody
Yeah.
behind the scenes, the hidden hand, putting
Yeah.
those type of symbolism out there? But you're absolutely right, man. You know, the frequencies of the music and the tones of the music and the low vibrations that some of the music,
Yeah.
not saying his music, I don't know. I haven't really listened to it, but
Yeah.
that's
Me.
that's an interesting thing, man. I'm looking at it from a point of view of how how the media would take hip hop and try to put a black eye on the art form itself and use
Yeah.
that brother's name and face as a poster child to say, this is why, this is why, this is why, man. You know, it's unfortunate those people, you know, lost their life behind whatever,
Yeah.
man. We got Drastiko with us here, man, my brother from another, man. What y'all don't know, y'all might know, you know, he also does videos. He's done couple of my videos all the way dating all the way back to a decade ago, the song Who Is This, all the way up to the meeting and this what else do we do? We did a few videos. We got my
The
bike,
meeting.
all
Oh,
that.
my bike. Yeah, my bike.
So that leads me to my next question. Are you gonna do any videos for this project you got out? And will you be doing them yourself, or will you get somebody else to come out and do the
I,
filming?
I thought about that, but it's very difficult, to film the videos myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I was to do it myself, it would be pretty simple, like, on a on a tripod
Yeah.
type of look. But I really don't. I'm not really looking into that, But man, I, most of my songs on all my songs on this album, they're stories, man, and I would like a beautiful visual to all of them,
Yeah.
But I would like, for it to go with what I'm saying, with the whole story. So it's very hard to find somebody that's able to pull that off.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I might not even do one
Well,
for
I
that reason.
I think that, you know, nobody can bring your vision to life better than you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you know, kind of when we work together, we just like whatever I hear and see, then I'll relay it to you when we put it together. that's something you can do the same thing. Even if you directing it yourself, you just relay it and let them know what, hey man, this is what I want to do. You know, because
Yeah.
visuals are, you know, videos have always been big, but I think visuals now are more so starting to become more dominant in terms of increasing your exposure and all that. So
Yeah.
I would definitely advise you to do as many videos as you can, What's your favorite song on the new album, if you had to pick one? Only one.
Man, that's hard. Let me see.
That's why
Man,
I
'cause
asked.
huh?
Go ahead.
What was that?
I said that's why I asked. I was choking when I said it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, that's pretty hard. That's a tough question, man, because I jam all of them, man, especially with my kids. They have their favorites too, you know. So, man, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Uh, man, I would
They
say,
say one song, they say you can only use one song off this album to listen to for the next month straight. Which one would it be?
it might be for my homies. For my homie. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That's a song, you know, three different scenarios of somebody losing somebody,
Yeah.
you know, in their family. You know, the first verse, it's a guy that loses his grandmother. Second verse, it's a guy loses his son. Third verse, a different scenario where, you know, a young teen loses both of his parents, and it's a dope song, man. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful, man. Who did you work with in terms of production on it?
Production was Alex Quasar. He did the whole album, but one track, which is I Feel Lost. Somebody else named Rujay Music produced that one,
Okay.
but everything else was Alex Quasar, man.
He's
He
from Houston?
Yeah, he's from Houston, man. He did a good job, man. And man, he wrecked those beats, man. The production, man. Everybody keeps saying about the production, man, that it was on point.
Wow.
And the guy that engineered it was FM, the producer, you know, from the north side.
Okay.
So, man, he does a lot of good stuff too, man. So he brought my work to life, you know.
Man, that's beautiful. And see, I think one of the things that people might not know about you is that you do a little bit of everything as far as in the music side. You know, like we just got to mention the fact that you are artists, you engineer as well. People don't know that you had your own setup, studio setup,
Yeah,
videographer, all these different things, plus you running your label and all that. So people don't know. And I think that what people don't really, a lot of people take for granted is that they don't understand how difficult that is to wear all these hats. But us down here in the South, we kind of do it on autopilot because we do what we had to do. You do
yeah.
things because you had to do. Is that the case? Did you just, all the things that I just named that you do, did you just say, man, I want to do all this just to have this on my resume, or it just came out of necessity and I ended up having to do
Necessity.
it? Man,
It was necessity, man. I had to teach myself how to do all of that, you
man,
know, because I didn't have the all the money in the world to be paying everybody, you know.
man.
So I had to teach myself how to do it all, you know. And when it comes to picking up from the other guys, you know, they laid the foundation in my city. I learned from that, the hustle, the grind, you
Right.
know, put selling these,
Yes,
selling
sir.
these,
Yeah,
hand to hand, going out there in the streets. I
right,
still do that,
right.
and um, that's a beautiful thing, man. That connects you to your listeners, man, and it's very important. These listeners are so appreciative of your art and who you are, because you go out there and you know with these people
Yeah.
hand to hand.
Talk about that in terms of, because you got a lot of artists that are like, oh man, I ain't getting out there. They may feel like they too big, or even if they don't feel like they too big, they have a sense of, I almost want to say embarrassment, like I don't want to be out there selling my own. I tell you, if you don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. I don't know who you waiting on to come and scoop your units up and get out there and bleed them for you. Talk about your work ethic. What instilled your work ethic, and what drives you to say, man, you know what, this is how it gotta be?
I mean, like I said, necessity again. Necessity, you know. I always had the need for me to go and do it myself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is gonna believe in you.
No question. No
So I always hustle my stuff, back to from high school days. I was always, selling my mixtapes to to the classmates at the whole school.
Right.
So anywhere we went to flea markets. That was back in 2002, 2003. That's what we were doing, selling our tapes like that.
Right.
So
that's a beautiful thing. Young Drastiko is in the building. Let people know how they can get the album, because we can meet up with the people in Houston, but if somebody in Kentucky want to get it, we ain't gonna drive all the way out to Kentucky to get it. Let people know how they can get the album everywhere it's available, physical and digital.
Digital, it's out everywhere right now, and then physical copies you can get it on my website, drasticogutterlife.bigcartel. That's where I have my hard copies, and I do ship worldwide, man. So
right,
we can do that.
Absolutely, and that's another hat to wear. He's distributor, the manufacturer, label owner, engineer, artist, videographer, all these different things, man. What kind of community work, if any, are you working on, or you doing to try to, even just through the music, but outside of the music, try to help reach the youth? Is that something that you are immersed in or planning on getting involved in to try to help save these streets out here?
I'm planning, to get together with you guys, pretty soon. I got a few ideas. It's just, life happens, brother, and it's pretty difficult sometimes, to get things together, or just to be at any event with anybody else, and to bounce these ideas with people.
Right.
But I really do plan on doing that. My kids want to do certain things too to help out. So, we all trying our best, to do the right thing.
And then just being an example, like you keep mentioning your children and all that. What is their perception of you as being? They just know daddy, but they also know that daddy does music. How do they look at you? Because you say they listen to the songs and all that. What's the separation between dad and artist and that whole dynamic from their standpoint?
I mean, they always talking about me. They're over there telling their friends at school.
So they proud of daddy. Yeah.
They're over there giving them business cards over there at school. So I'm assuming, they're proud. They're proud. They're always talking about my music, and you should do this, you should do that, giving me ideas.
So, which leads to my next question. So, do you have a thought in place? Maybe you did, maybe you don't. To say, okay, you know what? Hey, I got a nice little built-in team. Let me bring them up and teach them the game, and we can try to build this thing together. Or is it just like, whatever they're interested in doing, I'm gonna let them do what they want to do?
Yeah, kind of, but I know all of them love music because they just love music. Is a natural thing, I guess. And my kids actually did a Halloween song. They wanted to do a Halloween song, which, I let them be kids, I let them, do their research about certain things, like holidays and stuff later on when they grow up, if they choose to. But they decided to do a Halloween song last year, and they didn't come with no Halloween song. Like, they came with a story, and their Halloween song, all 3 verses is a story. They created that themselves, and they got on the microphone and they recorded it. So it was pretty dope. It's on my channel. I put it on my YouTube channel, and they're out there telling their friends to check it out.
Yeah. Answer this real quick. What are a couple of things that you might have in your mind, directions that you want to see hip hop go to in just Houston in general. We'll start with Houston. If you want to take it beyond that, some of the dissatisfactions that you may have that you want to see different, and how you can impact that if you could.
If there could be more unity, more unity between everybody, and not everybody having a big ego.
Right.
You know, everybody's human, man. Everybody's just an artist. You know, everybody can create together, man. And it seems like everybody, yeah, I understand hip hop is a competitive business. You know, the people we probably listen to, that were all battle rappers. You know, everybody got on stage and rip each other's heads off. You know, that's cool too. You know, but you know, if you want to get somewhere, I believe it takes numbers.
Yeah.
It takes a group of people to get somewhere.
Right.
Look at the SPC, brother. Yeah. SPC is a large group of people. Everybody's moving as a unit. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. The key word you said is unity, man, and that's it couldn't be said any better, because unity among artists, when the fan bases see the artists unified, then that would trickle down and be a reflection, and maybe it'll bring them together. But when they see us beefing with each other or going at odds with each other, then it causes them to divide and have to choose sides and say, well, this guy's my favorite, and he's beefing with this guy. Now I don't like this guy. So that's a great point you made. It just makes life more difficult, you know, when we come together. And from a business standpoint, tell us something that you would want to see different from the business side of music.
For everybody to do, you know, good business to begin with, you know, be authentic at least, you know, and just be fair with everybody, you know. I mean, if you do features with people, you know, split the royalties. Right. That's the way I see it. Split the royalties, and if y'all got you know, hard copies or whatever, you know, divide that too, and that way everybody can eat somehow, you know.
No question, man. No, wise words spoken. The homie Drastiko, man. Any last words you want to tell the people before we wrap it up, my brother? Anything you got on your mind you want to say or promote or push? Floor is yours.
I mean, check out that album, Reflections of a Man, featuring Brother Reno, Klondike Cat. You know, my girl, Sammy K, she's on them tracks. And Prince A is the guy that, you know, did a hook for me on a track called Misery. Man, all those songs wreck, man. And it's a real deep, heartfelt project for me, man. It's real meaningful, like I said earlier, man. And I would like people, you know, to listen to it and check it out, because I'm pretty sure they'll relate to something and get something out of it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Y'all be sure to go out and support, man. Reflections of a Man by the homie Drastiko. Be sure to go out and support. Again, I'm gonna say this all the time. We always talk about, we always complain about the commercial music, the mainstream music, and this music right here, independent artists dropping their own music that y'all don't support. So go out and support and check it out. And if you're feeling it, let people know, and make sure you don't dub it and tell them where they can go hear for free, to get them to support as well, man. Nobody blows up without the help of the people.
The people.
Yeah, so we got to make sure we stick together and make that happen, man. Appreciate you coming on, Drastiko. You know, it's long overdue, my brother. And you know how we get down. We'll be working again on something real soon, man. So
yeah, appreciate it, bro.
Anytime, family. One love to you, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. You know what it is.
Will do, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Much love, Reno.
Peace.
Peace.